Hello my loves and welcome to the Perfume Realm. My name is Manahil and I'm super excited about today's video because it is a collaboration with my girl Paulina Schar. But before we get started, I just wanted to say if you're interested in joining the realm, I highly suggest clicking the subscribe button as well as the bell notification so you can stay up to date on everything that is happening here. When you guys subscribe to me, you are supporting me and you are helping me grow, and I truly appreciate every single person who subscribes. Now, let's get into the video. So the video today is an exciting one. Her and I were bouncing ideas off of each other. We really wanted to do something a little bit different and something that we could do as a tag so other people could share in the experience because, I don't know, tags are fun. It kind of brings the community together. So we decided upon naughty and nice fragrances. So before I really jump into the actual video, I just wanted to talk about Paulina a little bit. Paulina is an absolute light in the community. I love her. She has shot up and become so successful, and she truly deserves all of the success that she has right now. She is such a sweetheart and tons of fun to watch. Honestly, if you're on my channel right now, you probably are already subscribed to her just because, you know, we both share in the perfume passion. But on the off chance that you're not subscribed, pause the video right now, go check out her channel. I guarantee you're gonna really love her content. Anyways, let's get into it. So the premise of today's video, I'll explain. Naughty and nice. Basically, we choose an aspect about two perfumes, an aspect that both of these perfumes share. However, one of the perfumes is going to kind of paint that aspect in a naughty kind of light, and the other perfume basically takes that aspect and portrays it in a more nice and pure kind of aspect. Because the thing with perfume is, it has personality. I feel like every single perfume has its own personality, especially when the perfumer has put so much care into the fragrance. A lot of the times there's going to be some kind of theme within that perfume. At least for me, it's a lot like a novel, a lot like a book. The author kind of creates this theme to a book, and so there are categories, you know, there's horror and there is thriller and, you know, all sorts of different aspects to a book. And I do think that a perfume possesses a lot of those type of attributes as well. So I think it's really interesting to be able to kind of see the dichotomy in one aspect, how one fragrance did it and then how the other one did it. The first little pair that we are going to start off with is Lune Feline versus Remember Me. So Lune Feline is by Atelier and Remember Me is by Jovoy Paris. So the aspect or the note that I'm going to be focusing on between these two is cardamom. Both of these fragrances feature cardamom. I'll let you guys take a little look at this bottle. It's probably covered in fingerprints because that is, you know, I don't know, that's kind of my thing here. They always have fingerprints on them and people freak out, but here is the gorgeous bottle for Lune Feline. I'm at my friend's house right now and she's like trying to be so polite. She's like creeping around, trying not to make any noise. Love you. But anyways, and that's my bestie, by the way. So Lune Feline by Atelier is basically this really, really smoky vanilla fragrance. To me, it's essentially this really, really smoked up smoke show version of vanilla. It's very sultry and it's very naughty. Like, this is 100% meant to be on this list in the naughty side. There's something very dark to it, almost a little bit sinister, because I feel like this perfume really kind of lures you in a little bit. The vanilla kind of makes it a little bit inviting, right? You want to smell vanilla more. Vanilla is the type of note when you smell it on someone, you really kind of crave more of it. You want to kind of get in a little bit closer. But then there's all of these darker, more naughty kind of aspects to it that kind of make it a little bit more raunchy, and I really enjoy it. But at the same time, it's never tacky. It's not a tacky perfume at all. It's definitely for kind of a mystery woman. So Lune Feline is not like any vanilla that you have smelled before. This is definitely a bad girl's vanilla or a bad lady's vanilla. I think that if I was to assign this scent to someone, I would assign it to Black Widow. If you're not into superheroes and all of that, I have two little brothers and they love Marvel and superheroes and stuff, so I'm really familiar with all of it. Black Widow is basically kind of she's a badass. She is a badass character for sure, because she is a female superhero and she doesn't really rely on like any superpowers so much as her charm, her wits, and the way she kind of is able to seduce people while also being super powerful. And I do think that this is the kind of scent that she would wear. Anyways, there's actually a lot of kind of animalic qualities in here. There is ambergris, and if you are familiar with ambergris, the true ambergris is actually, it's found in sperm whales, I believe. It is found inside of sperm whales, and it's a body fluid. It's something that their body produces, but overall, for the most part, you're not going to find actual pure ambergris in a lot of fragrances anymore. So I don't know what the case is with this scent. I don't know if it is synthetic or synthesized, molecules that smell like ambergris, or if it's actually ambergris itself. But whatever it is, it definitely lends this kind of animalic quality to this perfume. There's a little bit of a saltiness that ambergris has in it, and that saltiness really kind of plays with the sweetness of the vanilla and makes it a lot more mature and adds that layer of dimension, adds that kind of more in-depth layer to it, which I find really fascinating. So this is definitely a naughty fragrance, and I think it will put you in a naughty mood as well. But the main note that I wanted to focus on here was cardamom, because that is the note that this shares with Remember Me by Jovoy. The cardamom in here is made and used in that kind of spicy way, like adds a little bit of the spicy kick and really kind of makes it a little bit, it brightens up the entire scent, because there's like this kind of, the spicy kick, like I said, it kind of adds a little bit more body and movement to the perfume. But also at the same time, it kind of adds, I don't know, a little bit of flavor to it. It makes it a little bit more, it makes it less bland. Now, cardamom in Remember Me by Jovoy plays a similar role in a sense that it is used to kind of add that spicy kick. However, in here, that spicy kick is a little bit more, like I said, seductive and alluring, whereas in this one, it just kind of adds a little bit of flavor to the scent as well and helps it develop, because this scent is very lactonic. There is milk in here. In my opinion, this comes out smelling like chai tea or milk tea on its own. So it is a very lactonic and milky scent with the black tea note in it as well. So Remember Me by Jovoy also has that cardamom in here. To me, this scent is super comforting, very cozy. It smells like milk tea to me. So there is a very lactonic profile to the scent, because there is a note of milk in it. And then of course there is the tea in here. There's also cedar. Both this scent as well as Lune Feline have cedar that kind of adds this kind of woodiness to it. However, in Lune Feline, it's a bit more of a mysterious woodiness. It's literally like if you were to walk into like the dark woods at night, whereas this one, it's kind of more of a comforting woodiness to it that adds a little bit more of this natural touch to the scent that makes it, again, a lot more inviting and I don't know, endearing to me, in my opinion. There is lemon in here. There is this kind of bright and happy opening to this. This one also has vanilla in here, which, like I said, Lune Feline is primarily a vanilla fragrance. This one also has vanilla in it. So I would say this is definitely more of a nice, sweet, pure scent, whereas this one is not so much. I like to say that Lune Feline almost smells like smog. It almost smells a little bit like smog, and I know that is like the last thing you want to hear a fragrance smelling like, but there's almost this kind of pollution or polluted air smokiness to it. That's how smoky I find this one. Not here, not here at all. I think that this one is perfect for kind of cozy weather when you're wearing a sweater or something like that. It actually works really well in the summer as well, just because it's not a heavy scent. But both of these fragrances lean on the warm side. This one definitely has a lot of balsamic character to it as well. There's a lot of resin. It's a very resinous and warm scent. This one is warm just in the way as you would think as a warm cup of tea. So again, inviting and sweet. This one, naughty to the core. All right, next up we have Nuit Confidences, paired up against Van Cleef & Arpels Orchid Vanille. And I think if you're familiar with either of these, you know what aspect I'm going to be focusing on, and that is of course the central note in both of these, which is vanilla. So we're gonna start off here with the nice scent. So this is Van Cleef & Arpels Orchid Vanille, and this scent is so nice that I like to wear her to bed. She is like the ultimate comfort scent. She lingers and lingers and lingers, and she's like a friend giving you a hug. I love her. And when I first received her, I think I misunderstood the scent a little bit because I was super disappointed. I was like, this is not what I expected. And that's because I was a little bit more new in my fragrance journey, and I kind of expected all of my fragrances to just be these beast mode, high performing type of scent, super strong, you know, that kind of a scent. And I didn't realize that there's so many different kind of categories and different moods and emotions behind scent, and like you don't always want to be wearing a beast mode fragrance, and it's often the nuance in a scent that actually makes it so special. And this one is highly nuanced. It is a vanilla with so much character to it, but it's definitely an elegant scent. There is a muskiness, a powdery, almost like a papery feel to the scent. I almost feel like, I don't know, there's a feeling if you were to spray a gorgeous high-end vanilla into like a, you know, book with like parchment in it, you just close it up, and then years later you open it up and there's this kind of papery feeling to the scent. I get that in here. I get that kind of papery quality to it. But there is musk in here, there's vanilla, there's also dark chocolate, and that makes it so yummy. You can actually pick up on the dark chocolate for sure. It gives it that kind of, you know, bitter chocolate kind of feel to it. Think of dark chocolate, but like powdered dark chocolate. That's what I get. Powdered dark chocolate. Almost like if you have a bag of Cocoa Puffs, at the end, the dust in the Cocoa Puffs, that's what I feel is infused within this perfume. So if that helps you kind of think about what it smells like, it's Cocoa Puff dust with vanilla. There's also mandarin in here, there is vanilla orchid, and there is violet. So if you're familiar with violets, they used to be kind of one of the main notes that were featured in a lot of female fragrances, because there is this kind of purity to the violet note. It's a very innocent type of a note, and that's why a lot of women's fragrances used to have it. And then there was kind of a revolution in the way women's fragrances were created, where nowadays, and I do think that there was a lot of kind of influence from the Middle East as well, where they became a lot more strong, and it wasn't so much of a shameful thing for a woman to wear a scent that is very alluring and very captivating, and that kind of gets a lot of attention. Whereas I think in the past that was kind of more of a vile thing for a female to, you know, be wearing. So this one though definitely has that violet in here. So this is a very good girl, sweet, just kind scent. And it does not actually have like way too much of a sweetness to it. I do think that it is definitely a tempered sweetness. It's not over the top, it's not juvenile. This is a very adult vanilla, but not adult in the, you know, X-rated type of a way, just in the elegance and the finesse that it was created in. So that is Orchid Vanille by Van Cleef & Arpels, and honestly this is a scent that I want to have in my collection forever. So now we come to Noite Confidences by Aniquital, and this one is another one of my favorite vanilla fragrances, and also one that I do think will be in my collection forever. This scent is such a gorgeous dark vanilla scent. Now, unlike Lune Feline, I don't think that there is that kind of, you know, animalic nature to it, where Lune Feline straight up has that kind of, you know, carnal feeling to it. This one doesn't have that. This one is definitely more, let's say okay, let's just paint a little picture right now. It's a formal wear party, and all of the people there, let's say it's a masquerade, everyone has masks on, and this guy kind of falls in love with a girl, and she has a mask on. He doesn't know who she is or anything about her. I feel like she would be wearing this because this one does have a mysterious kind of feel to it. There's incense in here that really spirals throughout the scent and adds this kind of, I don't know, there's something very mesmerizing about incense. Incense kind of becomes this kind of intoxicating factor. You can really get caught up in it, you know, lost in the fog type of a situation. And I do think that the incense in here makes it a very captivating vanilla. There's also black pepper in the opening, which adds a little bit of this shimmery type of, you know, black pepper. Again, it's a little bit of a spice, right? So it adds a little bit of this shimmering effect, and I know that they described it, I think I have it here. So the description that the company actually gave is that it smells like champagne bubbles and sequin dresses. And when I first smelled it, I was like, I don't really know what they're trying to say, but now I understand. There is this kind of sequin effect, this kind of, you know, how when you look at sequins, it's like dappled light, you kind of see all the little sparkles. This one has that at the top of it. There is a kind of sparkling quality, not a fizzy quality, but a sparkling quality to it. The champagne bubbles part, I'm not really sure where they're going with that, but I do see the sequin dresses in here. So anyways, let's go back to that masquerade ball. I think that if a guy was to fall in love with this kind of mystery woman, it would be, this is the scent that she would be wearing. And although there isn't anything inherently naughty about that picture that I painted, there is something a little bit naughty about mystery, you know what I mean? Like kind of the possibility of something being taboo, the unknown. There's something naughty, there's something not as pure to that whole concept, you know what I mean? So anyways, yeah, I do think that this one plays on the vanilla note, but it does make it again, it's very, you know, it reels you in like vanilla does. It reels you in, but at the same time, you never get to know too much about it because of that mysterious incense and the black pepper in here as well. So anyways, both of these are gorgeous vanilla scents. I would say that they are soft fragrances. Neither of these are beast mode. This one is definitely more of a skin scent compared to this. Compared to Noite Confidences, this one does, you know, it has a relative amount of sillage. Like if it was the, you know, if you were to walk past, people would still be able to smell this a little bit. But again, it's not a beast mode scent. It's definitely, both of these are scents that you kind of have to lean in, maybe smell someone's neck. But this one is the nice and this is the naughty fragrance for vanilla. All right, so the next aspect are actually two different aspects that I decided to combine. So it is going to be gourmand fragrances that showcase a note of cinnamon. And both La Danse de Libellule by Noble 1942, as well as Angel Share by Kilian, have that kind of gourmand nature to it, as well as have the note of cinnamon displayed in both. So we're gonna start off with the nice again. This is La Danse de Libellule, and this is straight up an apple pastry scent. It smells like you are walking past a bakery and there is an apple pie baking in the oven for sure. You can smell it wafting through the air, right through the window. There is apple in here, and in the beginning, the apple is fresh. It's fresh and crisp. I would say that it is a mixture of a red apple as well as the green apple, because there is that sweetness and roundness of a red apple, but there's also that kind of tart quality to it that a green apple would have. Even though there's only, I think only green apple is listed, I can smell both of them. Now, as you put it on your skin acts like an oven and starts to heat up the fragrance and brings all of the different ingredients together, and that's when they really start to, you know, bake. So there's the vanilla in there, the apple kind of starts to become tender and caramelize a little bit, and of course there is a nice helping of vanilla in there as well. This one smells like your grandma is baking something delicious. It's bakery goods, it's a happy, feel-good type of fragrance, and it is definitely a nice one. The naughty version is, let's take that apple pie and take it to a gentleman's club at night. So all the gentlemen are eating apple pie, but there is that boozy scent of cognac kind of prevailing over everything. This is a highly boozy scent. I do get a little bit of this hay-like quality to it. I'm not sure what it is that kind of lends to that hay feeling that I get, but there is this kind of hay that is just drunken hay that has literally been steeping and stewing in booze. That's what I get. There is the cinnamon in here. The cinnamon in here is a lot more spicy than the cinnamon in this one. In here, the cinnamon is like one of those sweet cinnamon, like cinnamon sugar almost. But in here, cinnamon is in its true form. You know, it has that kind of bite to it. It has a little bit of pizzazz in it and makes it, you know, my cousin actually called it Christmas in a cup. And ever since she said that, I cannot get that out of my head. It smells like Christmas time with all of the spices and everything. And then that booziness as well. And then of course it comes in this gorgeous bottle. You know, the presentation for this one is incredible. So is La Danza de la Blue. I love this bottle as well. Both of these fragrances feature cinnamon, and they are both gourmand scents. I know that some people say that they feel like this smells similar to La Danza de la Blue. I wouldn't say that it smells similar to it. They do have shared aspects like the ones that I'm talking about, but they kind of go in completely different directions. But anyways, this is definitely the naughty scent, and this is the goody nice scent. And yes, I know I have a clip right here. It was getting a little too risque, my outfit, so I just put a clip right there. My friend and I are thinking of going out for a little bit. So after this, we're gonna have a little bit of fun. So I'm actually like set up here at her house. So the setup is different. I don't know if it's gonna look good or bad. I don't know what the acoustics are like here. And she was watching me and I started getting nervous, but let's get into the next pair. So this next pair might confuse you a little bit, so I will walk you guys through it. I have Ombre Leather by Tom Ford and Dirty English. And then Dirty English by Juicy Couture. Ugh. We're gonna start off with the naughty one here. So this bad boy, now this is rated XXX. There is something so raunchy about this one. There's something so carnal. There's something so, oh, it just kind of gets you in the mood. I love this scent. It is a men's fragrance, but I love this one. And it is totally masculine. I'm not gonna say it's a men's fragrance that leans feminine. I think it leans totally masculine, but there's something I need, like I crave this scent, I really do. And it is a dirty leather scent. It smells like you got in the back seat of a car and kind of wore in those leather seats with someone, you know what I mean? It has the smell of skin on skin contact, the friction and the heat created by skin on skin contact. It's in here. There's a little bit of this kind of, it smells like, you know, spraying the highest quality fragrance in the world on a man, and then he goes and works out while wearing that fragrance. So all of his kind of body heat and, you know, the saltiness from his sweat, maybe all of that kind of mixes in here and makes Dirty English So it is a dirty scent. It is a bad scent, bad boy, bad girl, who knows, whoever chooses to wear it, you know. But this is a leather fragrance, and ombre leather is also a leather fragrance. And although when I wear ombre leather, I feel like I want to go out and do something bad. Like I feel like, you know, this power woman. I feel very dominant and confident when I'm wearing this one. If you're just focusing on the aspect of leather itself, this one plays it pretty clean. This is fresh, new, really high quality, really expensive imported leather, like the leather of a foreign sports car, and brand new. It smells absolutely brand new, squeaky clean leather with a little bit of a sweetness to it. I think this one might have raspberry, I'm not sure, but there is a little bit of sweetness. Whether there is raspberry or not, there is a bit of sweetness that I get in here. But this is brand new leather, and this one is a leather that has seen a few things in its life, you know what I mean? Both of these are something I would wear when I'm feeling very fierce, but this one definitely has the naughty feel, and this one, if you're thinking only in terms of the note of leather, has the nice leather in it that is nice and clean and new and pristine. So that's kind of the naughty and nice that I have going on here. All right, so we are at our last pair now, and I'm going to be doing Regal Tuberose, and this one is by Eric Buderbaugh, and this is Red Door by Elizabeth Arden. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this one. So we are going to start off with the nice, the good. I'm saying naughty and nice as if it's good and evil, but I don't think naughty necessarily has to mean evil, you know. Naughty could just mean a little bit more risque, a little bit more maybe adventurous, perhaps taboo, perhaps not, just something a little bit more, let's just say risque. Let's stick with that. Not necessarily bad or good. You know, I don't think that naughtiness has to do with morals. You know, if you're feeling naughty, it doesn't mean that you're like an immoral person or anything like that. So just take it for what it is. But anyways, Regal Tuberose by Eric Buderbaugh. Oh, this is, the name is perfect. It is Regal Tuberose. It is a regal fragrance. One of my favorite fragrances from the line, and honestly one of my favorite fragrances in my collection. I say that about a lot of them, but this one would definitely be in the top 20, I would say. This is a tuberose scent, but there is no indole in here. If you're not familiar with what indole is, I've done an entire video explaining what indole is. I can link it down below, but I did do an entire video on indole and indolic fragrances, but there is no indole in here. Indole is basically kind of the animalic, carnal, kind of something that smells off that can be found in a lot of white florals, and tuberose definitely is notorious for having indole in it. This one strips tuberose clean. This one kind of takes tuberose and makes it born again. It's a born again Christian of the tuberose world, basically. It is clean. There's something soapy about it, but it's very high-end soap. Like, this is a clean and green scent. There is this kind of green touch to it. There's an aquatic nature, not from like a marine note or an ozonic note or anything like that, but more like a watery, like dewiness, like I don't know, like a water lily, something not watered down, but watery. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but there is something watery about it. It's not a heavy scent. It is kind of that soapy and clean one. And then it has tuberose, and it paints tuberose in a totally different light. Like, you have not gotten to know tuberose at all if you haven't smelled this one, because it really shows you a different profile to the note, which I really appreciate because it's something new, it's something different, and I do think that they nailed it. Eric Buderbaugh himself, who owns the company, or you know, his name is, you know, on the brand, he's actually a celebrity florist, so he knows all about flowers, and I do think that he really shows his artistry or his knowledge about florals in his fragrances, because you are able to smell something very authentically tuberose about this without it being, you know, a run-of-the-mill tuberose fragrance. The one that I'm comparing this to is my most scandalous scent that I have, and this is Red Door by Elizabeth Arden. I am a huge fan of the scent. I do not care how vintage it seems or whatever. This is, oh my God, it will put you in a mood. This makes me want to wear bright red lipstick and then just go out there. Just go out there in the world. Like, there's something super, super, I don't know. There's something, she's a tease. She is a flirt. She is confident and bold. She has permed hair. She's in the neon lights, maybe Las Vegas, who knows, but I love Red Door, and she is definitely a white floral fragrance. Now, there's more than just tuberose in here, but I'm going to be focusing on the tuberose. The tuberose in here has a slightly indolic character to it. I wouldn't say it's heavily indolic just because it's not all about the tuberose. There are other elements to it. There's kind of this makeup-y quality in here too. There's honey in here, there's amber in here. So it's definitely a warm fragrance. I think it warms up really nicely on the skin. Interestingly though, this has violet, and I did talk about violet, and I talked about how much of an innocent type of note that is. This scent takes violet and completely deflowers it, if you will. I mean, it completely deflowers it. It violates that violet, and it makes it something, you know, a creature of the night, okay, a lady of the night. There's also heliotrope in here, and there's musk, and I think that those notes are very interesting because those are, again, more on the kind of goody-goody, nice side of things, but this is a naughty fragrance, and I do think it's literally taking these goody notes and corrupting them. Okay, think about someone in your high school when you were younger. Your parents were like, don't hang out with this crowd, they're going to ruin you, my innocent perfect child. Well, this is that, you know, senior that your parents didn't want you to hang out with. This is the girl or the guy, whoever, that your parents didn't want you to hang out with because they were bad news and they were going to turn you into bad news. And that is what Red Door is all about, and I love her, and I enjoy wearing her. I really do. This is not even my first bottle of Red Door, and I always go for the older formulation. The new one comes in the new bottle. I like the older formulation, so you will always see me with a Red Door that comes in this this bottle in particular. But yeah, this one is the naughty fragrance, and this one is the nice. So naughty, nice, and that is my last little pairing for today. All right, you guys, that is all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching and sharing your valuable time with me here today as we sit and chat about perfume. I know I have not been very consistent with my uploading. It's been pretty crazy. I'm still planning on doing a giveaway, but I kind of have to get a little bit more near those numbers before I can actually, you know, talk about the giveaway and everything, which I'm super excited about. But thanks for sticking around with me, you guys. Eventually I will be more consistent. For now, I'll be popping in here and there to give you your fragrance content. But yeah, anyways, have a good one, guys. Bye.